money, I own my own home, and I love being single. It was 1996. I had a wonderful job, I made great money, and a condo in Chino Hills. The perfect little life, so I fucked it up. I fucked it up really good. I got married. There was no head over heels, no proposal, no wedding, just a drive to Laughlin, some paperwork with drunk strangers on the USS Riverside. I moved in with him thinking, surely I can make this work. 3 days after the wedding, he got drunk and flung unimaginable insults. He broke a cherished coffee table from a long-lost boyfriend and physically destroyed our home. I moved back to the condo with my first true love, Max, the golden retriever. Our friends were betting on how long things would last. So to prove them all wrong, I went back. Because nothing says I love you more than staying with someone just to make a point. Well, that and the silver-tongued promises. He was so sorry. It would never happen again. Things are going to be better. It went from bad to worse, as it always does with a narcissist. First, it was gaslighting, and then the mental mindfuck of emotional abuse, escalating to finances and the physicality. I was thankful for that. It proved I was not crazy and landed him in jail. Connor came along 10 months later. A pure miracle. I was told I would never have children. He was a gift of epic proportions. No one on earth was ever happier to be pregnant than me. Leaving my career meant I was now financially dependent on a man who wielded power without mercy. He canceled my cell phone, gave me a deposit-only ATM card. Yes, that's a real thing. And he kept the gas in my car barely above empty, assuring I never went anywhere without permission. Being a new mom in the first year of marriage is hard. Doing it with that man cannot be put into words. My plan, stay until Connor was 2, get my divorce, and finally live happily ever after. I squirreled away all the money I could squeeze out of my grocery allowance, hiding it in places he would not find. I hid it in shoes, old t-shirts, and jars of rice. 1998, finally, I lined up my apartment and my job. I was making the move in 10 days, and then I woke up puking and sick. Pregnant again. I vowed to stay until this child started school. The universe was kind, knowing I could not bear this load, gave me Parker, the oldest of souls, the kindest I've ever known, the reincarnated Dalai Lama. He never cried. He was never needy. He was and is the most patient and content soul on earth. A gift that got me through those horrific 7 years. My God, how I loved that baby. I got a tubal ligation, an education, and squirreled away more money, while meticulously plotting that escape. Parker started school on Thursday. I left Friday. My motto, one marriage is more than enough for a lifetime. I moved into a gated community, and I had a very long conversation with security. I found out being alone was awesome. And being a single mom was 1,000 times easier than being a mom inside a heinous marriage. I was out, and I was never going back. Better to be on the outside wanting in than the inside wanting out. So it was then, in my happiness, people began asking, why aren't you married? Well, I'm not married because I don't like to share the room, or blankets, or watch stupid playoff games. I already have kids to raise. I don't want to help a man find his keys, his socks, and his phone. I don't want to pick up his dirty underwear and wash his laundry, or be tormented as he reverts to a toddler when he has a cold. Being single means I don't have to sleep with someone I'm mad at, or tolerate a new man telling my kids how they should behave, or endure his disapproval of the time, attention, and affection they need of me as I usher them into adulthood. Growing up in Salt Lake City, I watched my mother endure her own unhappy 20-year marriage while raising 6 children. Did you know women were not allowed to have their own checking account until 1974? I watched my mother struggle to put shoes on my feet, wearing the same pair, first grade, second grade, 3rd grade. Can you believe I was headed down the same path? Being single puts me in total control of my finances, my 401k, and my tax return. That means I don't have to justify to anybody $45 lunches, $15 at Starbucks. And if I want to buy my kids shoes between paydays, I can. Being single means I never have to lie. What you think of me is none of my business. I am done going around asking for permission to be me, making excuses about how I look or behave. I learned that single women hold the key to yes and no. We are unowned and free and powerful, holding all the control. I soon realized men were not really prepared for this kind of strength. They could not get their head around my ability to dismiss them at will. Feed me and fuck me, that's all I want. After a few years, I found married men worked much better for this. They never want to move in, they don't fall in love, they don't ask, who's texting you? They don't want to look through my phone, they don't know my passwords, and most of all, they cannot get jealous of other men that share my bed. I don't want one song on my iPod anymore. I want a full catalog of music, and I'm going to play it on shuffle. I genuinely love a good drive-by. I hit it and quit it. And Chuck. On Facebook, the status is it's complicated. But the truth is, it isn't complicated. It's clean, it's simple, and it's honest. Way more honest than a lot of marriages. I don't worry about my phone anymore, like recent call logs, or dick pics that I have, or sex messages. Being single, I get to sleep naked, and it signals no man to climb on and have a go. Simply means I like to sleep naked, and sleep like a starfish, taking up the entire king-size bed, using every pillow. While single, it's men who cater to my needs on a date. It's his responsibility to make sure I'm fed and I'm happy. Who in their right mind would give up this little slice of control and happiness? Living a life of blissful freedom, I was finally able to do all the things I was forbidden to do in my marriage. I learned to kickbox, play guitar, I became a yoga instructor, and I took in drug-addicted foster babies. I built a life I loved and cherished. This new life of mine cured my chronic, debilitating migraines. Now, after 8 peaceful years of freedom, I changed jobs. And while driving to work my first date, I had a flash of intuition that all my friends know about. But this time, I didn't want to hear what it was telling me. I was about to meet someone, and I could feel it with every fiber of my being. A soulmate? I don't want a soulmate. The only soulmate I want is me, cloned, so I can actually have a friend I like. I don't want anyone coming into my life fucking up my shit. Spend years building walls and protecting my children from change. With tears in my eyes and a heavy heart, I drove to work. I was introduced to him. I knew it in an instant. I have no idea what he said. All I knew was he had the most beautiful blue eyes I'd ever seen. That and his ring finger was naked. However, the next day at work, he was sporting a little bit of new jewelry. Yeah, a wedding ring. My mind was racing. I know married men. They all cheat, but they never leave. I don't even want a soulmate, and if I was going to get one, I definitely wanted him single. A few days later, the man in the ring invited me to meet him at the yard house for lunch. Just the two of us. You know, because taking a new employee, a single woman, to lunch at a bar seems like a great idea for the corporate trainer. I went despite my hesitation and better judgment. We sat at the bar. I could get just a hint of his cologne, and it was intoxicating. Under that spell of clanking stemware, the perfect glass of wine, tasting food that was better than anything I'd ever eaten, I realized I was starving in more ways than one. The conversation flowed perfectly, as did the humor and the chemistry. It was, well, way more fun than it was supposed to be. With my intuition roaring, I knew I was fucked, and not the way I liked it. We snuck off over the next few days, lunches, drinks after work, quickies at the Red Lion. love with me. I'm happily married. Me and you, this is just fuckity-fuck. Laughing, I agreed. I don't fall in love. 3 weeks later, he wants to go to dinner alone that night. Thinking that's a horrible idea, I asked what time. He ended up staying the night and told me he loved me. 2 weeks later at Panera, over a You Pick Two combo, he told me, I'm leaving my wife. I can't live without you. He drove to Wells Fargo and opened a joint checking account. He wanted me to know he was all in. And there it was, on legal documents, both our names, combined as a couple on temporary yellow checks. A week later, he's paying our bar tabs with his married account and calling and texting on his personal cell, coming over, staying way too late. I said, Father's Day is Sunday, and you have 3 weeks to go. He agreed he'd be more careful, but I knew better. 2 days later, he's in my driveway, all his clothes stuffed hastily into that silver Prius. My kids don't know I have a boyfriend. I have to explain to them that guy out there in the driveway sitting that you don't know, well, he's moving in right now. People see me as the home wrecker, but I didn't wreck a home. I didn't stand before God and witnesses and make promises to that woman that I would be true to her. He did. He's the one that wrecked the home, blew up his life in 18 years, and walked away. I didn't lead the charge to go to lunch or have drinks or beg him to stay the night. He did. Most people have misplaced anger issues about this topic, blaming women like we have magical powers. We take perfectly wholesome, loyal, honest men, and we make them cheap. No one can do that to a man that isn't already looking. We were married a year later, and it's been 4 years of bliss. Well, mostly bliss. I now share the remote, the blankets, and yeah, I watch stupid playoff games. I help the man I adore find his keys, his socks, and his phone. I do his laundry, I get him Sprite when he's in toddler mode, and yes, I pick up his dirty underwear. That's a real picture, by the way. The big difference is he knows he loves a tortured soul, and that I do things that don't make sense, like steal hide money. He understands my issues and loves the fucked up mess that is me. He put all our investments in my name to make me feel safe, gave me my very own gas card. Hell, he even supported me in mentioning his dirty underwear in front of all of you. So now I know that all the things I hated in my last marriage was just the person it was with. One song on my iPod is enough for me now because, well, I have just the right song.